Hey everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I'm your host, Royce, and if you like Xbox, then you're in the right place. And today, I kind of want to talk about Game Pass, and I was planning this video for a while, and I kind of wanted to talk about this, but we also just got news that Xbox is going to be raising the price of their first-party game to $70 in 2023. And so, I kind of really want to talk about that, and show you guys my thoughts on that. So with that, let's just get into the news and let's talk about Game Pass. All right, so before I get into this whole point of this video, which is to talk about how great Game Pass is, and talk about how Game Pass is a gift that keeps on giving, especially during this holiday season, we got kind of some bad news, which is Microsoft is trying to raise the price, or is going to raise the price of their first party games starting in 2023. So this is pretty much going to coincide with all of the other AAA studios that are doing this, like Sony and Ubisoft and EA, as well as Take-Two. They're all kind of going towards that $70 route, and Microsoft is going to be partaking in this. And I have some thoughts on that, but let's talk about it first. And before I get into far into this video, I kind of want to talk about why I might sound a little different. I am pretty fucking sick right now. I don't feel too good, but I just wanted to. I just felt like talking about this, and I kind of want to stick it through for you guys. So yeah, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. All right, you're welcome. All right, so let's get to the article, and this is coming from IGN. Microsoft raising prices on new first-party games built for Xbox Series X and S to $70 in 2023. Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield will be among the first to reflect the change. Xbox is preparing to join other major gaming publishers in raising the prices of its major new first-party titles from $60 to $70. Beginning in 2023, games built for Series X and S, including Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield, will cost $70 at launch. While Xbox has noted that regional pricing may differ, it has not yet given specifics for other countries. This price reflects the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles, a Microsoft spokesperson told IGN. As with all games developed by our teams on Xbox, they will also be available with Game Pass the same day they launch. Alright, so the spokesperson is pretty much saying what I feel like a lot of people are kind of having... They're kind of sharing a lot of thoughts with this spokesperson, which is, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're raising the price to $70, but at the same time, they're launching into the service, which is Game Pass, day and date as well. No additional cost to you. It's going to be on Game Pass. So I feel like a lot of people are kind of using that notion as a sort of scapegoat for this idea of charging $70 for the games. And I don't like that, as that is not how you should be looking at it. Like, yes, Game Pass is a great service. Game Pass, you're able to play a bunch of AAA games, a bunch of AA games, a bunch of indies from first party all the way down to third party, and they just add more and more each year. But you also got to realize that some of these games get removed from the service. You don't own these games. So if that's not something that you're into, then you're not really going to be into Game Pass. And so what about people who don't have Game Pass? What about people who don't want to go that route and who want to own their games? Do you think that $70 is a justifiable thing, especially with how this past generation has been kind of lackluster, in my opinion? I don't think so. I don't think Xbox deserves to sell their games for $70. And here's why. Xbox's generation has not hit the ground running like they should have been. Right? You had a huge flop on your hands with Halo. And if you were to tell me that Halo is going to be a $70 game, I would have laughed in your fucking face, because that is pathetic. If you're going to launch Halo in the state that it is, with it being a $70 game to boot, go fuck yourself. That is abysmal. It shouldn't even launch the way it was, and it's a $60 game. And I don't want to hear excuses for it being in Game Pass. That's not okay to have a game with no support for over a year. No co-op, no Forge, multiplayer being so stagnant and playing the same 4 maps over and over again. That is inexcusable. I don't care if it's in Game Pass. That shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. at all. There has not been a single game this console generation on both PlayStation 5 and Xbox where I'm thinking, holy fuck, I'm glad I'm paying $70 for this game. There has not been one game. There has been games that you can make an argument for as to why they cost $70 with God of War Ragnarok or with Horizon Forbidden West and even Forza Horizon 5. I think those games, if you said, hey, we're going to charge you $70 for those, which Sony is, I would be like, okay, I could understand that. And Forza Horizon 5, what Playground did there was amazing, and was my game of the year for 2021. But that is it. Those 3 games are solely the only games I can think of at the top of my head that I could say, okay, those might be worth $70. But every other game that has cost $70 this generation has not been worth it at all. We look at just the state of the games that we've been playing so far, and it is laughable how bad these games are coming out, and the fact that people are just accepting it and paying those prices when we shouldn't be paying those prices. We look at games like Gotham Knights running at 4K 30, and they're on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It is exclusive to those consoles because they dropped support for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One in order to utilize the next gen features of these consoles in order to make this game. And the reason why you can't do 60 frames per second is because of untethered co-op? That is some horse shit. And that's a $70 game. That is horse shit, right? A Plague Tale Requiem. That game is a solid game. It is a hit. I think it is a very, very well-made game. And I have my review on there if you want to check that out. But that launched in Game Pass, and that's where I experienced it. But at the same time, you got to look at that game and say, why can't this game achieve 60 frames per second? Why is that not possible? This game, it looks beautiful, but it is a very linear experience. And you're telling me that you can't do 60 frames per second with the technology that you have? You can only do 40 frames per second with that? And what about Callisto Protocol? This game is fucking getting trashed on because it is optimized poorly. It can't even run on the PC properly. And the only platform that it does run smooth on is on PlayStation 5. And the reason why it runs so good on the PlayStation 5 is because they've had support from the PlayStation studios to go, and they gave them some of their developers to go help them make that game. That's a $70 game, and then they come out and say like, hey guys, please be patient. Fuck you. What the fuck? I don't need to be patient. If I'm paying $70 for a fucking game, I'm spending that money, my hard-earned money, on a $70 game, and you tell me to be patient? Go fuck yourself. I shouldn't be experiencing that shit if we're paying that much for video games. We shouldn't. End of story.
Almost lost my cool there.
And to try to get sympathy from the people that you're trying to fucking fuck over? No, that's not okay. That is not okay. There is not a single game that has justified the price tag for $70, and Xbox is following suit. And then people are going to say, hey, you know what? Look, hey, it's coming to Game Pass. Don't worry. Don't use that as an excuse. Yes, it does make Game Pass look better, right? Inherently, of course it does, because you're raising the prices of those games. And why pay $70 for a single game when I could pay for 5 months of fucking Game Pass with that money? And yeah, I'll get the game as well. Like, of course it's a better deal, and that's what they want. They want to shove people over to Game Pass because that's what they care about. So by increasing the prices of the games, they're going to be doing that. And then people are also going to combat the idea of raising $70 games because, oh, you know what? Games these days cost a lot of money to make. And that is true. They have cost a lot of money to make. And people are going to be like, okay, well, yeah, that should justify the cost. Okay, well, if that's the case, then these games should look like they cost a lot of money to make, because we still haven't gotten a game that looks as phenomenal on these next gen consoles. We still haven't gotten anything like that. So I'm still waiting here. And how can you say that? How can you say, oh, you know what, costs so much money to make, when PlayStation and Xbox are out here saying, look, we are having the best sales. We are having record-breaking profits that we've ever had before. And that was at the $60 price point. So then why do you need to justify a $70 price point? Why are you defending these billion dollar companies? They don't need you to defend them. I don't care about them making hands over fist money because they're making games cost $70 now. I care about my wallet. I care about what I want to pay for. And I don't want to pay $70 for a video game. That's just it. And I don't think having Game Pass as an excuse is justifiable in any way. And I know that just turned into a huge rant and me losing it, but this isn't cool. I don't like this at all. The price increase is unsurprising given that earlier this year Xbox head Phil Spencer said that the company wouldn't be able to hold its prices forever, but that Xbox would not raise prices ahead of the 2023 holiday season. Xbox is also not the first company to have done this. Sony, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive have announced $70 price points for certain new games, and Sony specifically has reported discussing raising that price even higher. Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that. That is also fucking terrible. Wow, cool. That's what I'm talking about. Record-breaking profits. You're breaking records because you're charging more than you ever have. And the reason why they're charging more than they ever have because people will buy it regardless. And that's the thing. You have to not buy these games. End of the story. If you don't buy these games at the price point that they're selling it for, then they're going to be forced to lower the price point. So this could also lead into more, this isn't just the end, right? This isn't like, hey, look, we're going to raise the price of these games to $70. There's other things that they are probably going to plan to do, increasing game price of, increasing Game Pass prices, increasing the console prices. These are all things that are viable for them that they've discussed doing, and that they said that they're being the good guys by, you know, holding back doing that. And wow, thank you so much for doing that. I don't give a shit. I don't care about these companies losing money selling games to me. I don't care that they're making only marginal profits on these things. I don't care. I care about how much money I'm spending and the worth that I'm getting for that. And if $70 is the new norm, then I should expect $70 quality from these games. I shouldn't expect a game like Halo Infinite to launch in the state that it is. You shouldn't expect Callisto Protocol to launch in the state that it is and expect people to be patient with them and to wait out while they try to fix it. That's not what we should be doing. What we should be doing is getting a complete game and it being start from beginning to end should be playable and just fine. We should be having 60 frames per second options. We shouldn't be getting these 4K 30 and just saying, you can't do 60. It's impossible. It's not impossible. It's you being lazy. That's all it is. It's you wanting to save money by cutting corners. But this kind of leads into the point of this video in the first place, which is, hey, you know what? Game Pass. Game Pass has been phenomenal this year, and it needed to be that way because of the lackluster support of Microsoft in the year 2022. And I just want to say that going forward, the future of Game Pass looks so bright with all of the things that they've already announced. And with the recent announcement of Monster Hunter Rise coming, that gets me super excited. Monster Hunter Rise was exclusive to the Switch for like a year now. And that was one game that I was kind of bummed to hear about go exclusive because I had so much fun in the previous Monster Hunter game on the Xbox that I played with friends and stuff. And it was really fun. And Monster Hunter Rise looked to be even better. And it got amazing reviews. So I'm super stoked to hear that this is actually coming to Game Pass later next year, which is really awesome. They've also announced a bunch of other games coming over to Game Pass as well, which includes Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Starfield, Age of Empires 2 and 4, console ports, Minecraft Legends, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Silk Song, Wolong is coming day and date, Atomic Heart, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, Replaced. There are so many games coming to Game Pass, and those are the ones that we already know about. There's going to be, of course, surprise drops. There's probably going to be a huge Game Pass showcase at Xbox's E3, so we have a lot to expect this coming holiday and in the next year. And I'm super, super stoked. It is like amazing how much money you can save by actually getting into Game Pass, because now that they're increasing the price to $70, that just gives more incentive to join Game Pass. And I've said it before that the price of the Game Pass is probably going to increase at some point, but the price that it is now is a steal. I think it is a phenomenal deal, and we are getting great support from all of these games. And I wish and I hope that they continue to go down this route, and that they continue to try to get these games into Game Pass. And whenever this Activision Blizzard King deal does close and Xbox does acquire them, then hopefully we can see a large back catalog of the Activision games come into Game Pass. And that just is going to bolster Game Pass, and to play Call of Duty day and date and things like Diablo and Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and whatever other IP that they're currently working on coming to Game Pass is going to just inflate the value even more. Game Pass is a phenomenal thing, and I just don't, I intended to make this video all about Game Pass, but obviously I got kind of distracted with the $70 deal, $70 games, which is, I knew it was coming, but it still is. This isn't just to attack Xbox. This is attacking the whole industry, because we have not gotten a game that I think is $70 worthy, and we really need that. And yeah, Game Pass is a viable option, and it does look even better now because of what Xbox is deciding to do. It's still, at the end of the day, a really shitty thing to hear. And I hope that because these games are $70, that we do get better games. We do get games that aren't in unplayable states, that we do get 60 frames per second options, that we do get games that actually utilize the hardware and the different services that we have that are built into these consoles, like FSR and DLS and all those other fancy 3-letter fucking terms that people have not utilized yet. So I'm looking forward to the next year with Game Pass. I'm looking forward to the Xbox first party. And I really do hope that the first party games do hit it out of the park. And I really do think that because of Game Pass, I was able to experience a lot this year. And I wouldn't have been able to see those games without Game Pass. And so I hope that I could say the same thing this time next year when all those other new games that come out on Game Pass that I haven't experienced. I spent hours and hours playing Pressure Washer Simulator. So hopefully I can find another game like that. I had a blast with that. It was great. And just Game Pass is a great thing. So what about you guys? Do you guys think that the $70 price point is justified? Do you think that Game Pass is the gift that keeps on giving? And what was your favorite experience of Game Pass this year? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate all the recent subscribers. It is really cool to see me about to hit 100 subscribers. So that's really awesome. I never would have thought that I would have made it this far. So thank you all for checking me out, and thank you for spending the time with me and for listening to what I have to say. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great holiday, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. And remember, take it easy.